Yes.
Good evening, and welcome to a meeting of the Council of the City of Long Beach held Tuesday, February 3rd at 7 p.m. We'll have a roll call. Councilmember Johnson? Here. Councilmember Ennis?
Here.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Here.
Vice President Fiamara?
Here.
President Finn?
Present.
Let the record indicate the presence of City Manager Dan Creighton and Corporation Counsel Gregory Kalnitsky. We will now have a salute to the flag.
Please remove your caps. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to our February meeting, first February meeting. Thank God it got a little bit warmer out there today, downright balmy. With no further ado, Dan Creighton will give our city manager's report.
Thank you, Brennan. Good evening, everyone, and thank you again for coming out tonight on another consecutive frigid, cold night. I'm going to give a few quick updates before I hand it over to our Commissioner of Public Works, Ken Arnold, so he can give us a report on the city's ongoing snow removal efforts. As I hope you all have heard by now, the Polar Bears have postponed their event until March 15th. Time and locations are still to be determined. We know safety is everyone's top priority, so we obviously support this decision. For updates as we get closer to the event, please visit longbeachpolarbears.org. Along those same lines, we have postponed the snowflake race that was scheduled for Saturday. The new date will be March 7th. So in a couple of minutes, I'm going to ask Ken Arnold to give us a recap and update on the city's response to last week's storm. Before he starts, I would like to commend our city workers for a great job. Long Beach saw between 9 and 10 inches of snow and sleet, which was preceded and followed up by an unprecedented cold snap, the likes of which we have not experienced for over 40 years. This combination led to a very challenging snow clearing and removal operation. As stated, I would like to thank and commend the city's workforce who literally worked around the clock for the first 48 hours of the storm and who have been out there every day since. They've been engaged in a very difficult work in freezing cold temperatures, and I want to be sure they all know how much we appreciate their work. Thank you to all of you. Like I said, this has been a very challenging storm, and I know there are residents that are frustrated. We share those frustrations and acknowledge that there's lessons to be learned so we can improve our operational planning and implementation for future storms. We appreciate everyone's cooperation and patience while the work continues, and we appreciate the workforce who is out there getting it done. With that, I'd like to ask Ken to come up and just give us a couple of details. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Dan. So the city issued an emergency notice at 3:30 p.m. Friday notifying all residents of the that all snow emergency routes have no parking effective 9 p.m. on Saturday. This was done so that major roads could be cleared efficiently. In response to the pending storm, city crews from all maintenance departments were mobilized, encompassing 45 pieces of equipment and over 200 tons of salt. Salt crews pre-applied salt on Saturday night prior to the event, and then again started applying salt during the event at 7 a.m. All of the staff came in at 9 a.m. to initiate plowing and snow clearing operations. This operation continued until approximately midnight on Sunday when all roads were addressed. The plow teams were then sent home. All roads then received one last application of salt, and then those crews were dismissed around 2 a.m. on Monday. Monday morning, all crews were then came in on their regular shift and were assigned areas to follow up on. Focusing on major roads, crews were then brought in for the overnight on Monday to complete snow operations so that emergency notice could be lifted for Tuesday morning. The balance of the week, all beach and street maintenance staff continued to address resident complaints. Starting on February 2nd through the end of the week, Public Works coordinating with PD to have cars move from parking areas on Broadway and the Center Mall to clear those areas of snow. Crews will also be addressing crosswalks and other critical areas this week. The takeaways of the storm: prolonged cold spell has not allowed any melting of snow that normally assists in clearing of roads. This area has not seen a cold spell of this magnitude since February of 1979. In areas that were impacted by the emergency notice, many vehicles between 40 and 60 were not removed timely. This resulted in a delay for the department operations to adequately clear snow from those roads. The lack of space to move snow off roads within many areas of the city impacts the department's ability to adequately clear roads and parking. These areas require the hauling of snow, which is extremely time-consuming. On-street parking and dead ends impede the use of the department's larger trucks at many locations. Many of these locations require hauling of snow to get total clearance. As expected, many residents and businesses utilize city roads when clearing their property. While the department worked towards moving this snow, the extremely cold temperatures refroze it on many of the streets. And to impound on this, the salt has limited ability to melt snow when it gets below 20 degrees. The city has limited areas to hold snow. Many areas utilized are privately owned and require private property owner cooperation. This prolonged cold has changed the characteristic of the piled snow now. These snow piles are very hard as rock and could cause damage to vehicles and staff if not handled carefully. In conclusion, as takeaways point out that I just mentioned, the department typically faces many challenges on a normal snow event in the city due to lack of space. In all cases, these challenges were amplified due to the unusual extreme cold temperatures that we've seen before and after the storm since. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. I think that would end the city manager report.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Ken, and thank you to the city workers who worked so hard under such adverse conditions. We're grateful for the work you guys did, and guys and girls. Thank you very much. And we'll get on with the agenda, please.
Item number 1 is a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinance of the City of Long Beach, read the Building Code, Housing and Property Rehabilitation and Conservation Code, and Appendix A Zoning Code. This item is for publication only, with a public hearing to be held on March 3rd, 2026 at 7 p.m. Item number 2, it's a resolution extending health benefits to employees with domestic partnerships.
Okay, so the city provides health insurance benefits to its full-time qualified employees, and if they so choose, their spouses and children. However, a municipality has to opt in to cover domestic partnerships. This item would extend health insurance benefits to include the domestic partners of qualified employees. This will be an additional cost per employee if they do not currently have family coverage that enrolls their partner. While this is a real cost, we believe it is the right thing to do. We have several employees that are under a family plan that have children that are not married to their spouses, so there would be no additional cost for those members. But while we understand it is a real cost, again, I said this is the right thing to do. I will note there are strict requirements for proving individuals as domestic partners that must be proven prior to their enrollment. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them, and I think I have a few other people that may be able to help answer some questions.
Okay, questions, council?
Dan, if you could just, or if somebody else can just provide some of those requirements, just so everybody,
So you would have to prove that your cohabitation, which means you live together, and you'd have to show that there's financial interdependence between the two partners. There is a form PS 425 with the Department of Civil Service that would have to be completed that basically gives, domestic partner information and several questions that have to be answered in the affirmative in order to make it happen. That being said, there is also another form to terminate, believe it or not, a domestic partnership, as well as a dependent tax affidavit for domestic partnership, which is with the New York State Department of Civil Service.
Okay. Any other questions from the council? Question from the public? Yes. You can come right up here and speak in the microphone.
I'm Pam Payton, Long Beach resident forever. I'm curious because all of the things weren't read through, and I understand why not, but I just wanted to ask if same-sex partnerships are recognized.
They would be well, there's same-sex can be married or they could be domestic partnerships. It's similar. So yes, same-sex would be, any domestic partnership would be covered by this.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the public? Yes?
Eileen Hessian, thank you.
Aye.
Financial interdependence, could this be a roommate? Like if I had a girlfriend that moved in with me, could she be a domestic partner?
Do you have joint bank accounts with your roommate?
A joint bank account?
Yes.
I don't have a roommate. This
Unlike
is
financial interdependence.
I could do that. Yes,
Yeah.
we could do that.
I guess if you want to, I don't
Work
know.
the
I think it would be
system.
fraudulent if you're saying you're a domestic partner with the roommate, but I guess you could choose to do it however you want. But I think you'd have to just meet all the requirements, and if you met them,
Okay. Sorry. And how many people do you think will be involved in this?
we're not sure yet. I think there'll be probably around 10 is our estimate, but it's hard to say.
And do you have any idea what it will cost us?
It would cost approximately up to $2,000 a month if it's going from a single plan to a family plan. However, some people are already covered under family plan that would be taking advantage of this. So we do have employees, like I said, that have children that already have a family plan, but their partner is not covered under their insurance because they're a domestic partnership, not married.
And do most municipalities allow this?
I believe most do. I haven't contacted most of them to check, but
Right.
the ones I have contacted do offer it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes? I think I know you.
Good evening, John Mooney, 18 Maywalk. I want to thank the city manager, corporation council, and the city council for getting this item on the agenda. This affects a few of my members and is at no cost to the city because they currently fall under the family plan. So right now, I think there's about 7 to 8 members. These hardworking members bring a voice for their families and their domestic partners. This is one example of why I do what I do as a union rep. We are being a voice for the families that don't fit into the traditional bubble. I'm proud here to be fighting for them and ask for you guys to vote yes, and I appreciate you getting on the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the public? Okay, thank you. We'll close that.
Item number 3 is a resolution authorizing transfer of funds for the 2025-2026 fiscal year and amend the general budget.
Okay, so the city recently settled a lawsuit, which was brought up at the last city council meeting for a substantial payment. This item transfers funds to cover the cost of that settlement beyond what was budgeted to address settlements. We believe this amount will cover us for the remainder of the fiscal year. If you have any further questions, our corporation counsel is present.
Question from the council? Dan, when you say, maybe I'll address it to you, this should cover it for the rest of the year in terms of other settlements?
No, I think this is just to fund the one settlement. When we do the budgets, it's impossible really to plan concisely for what goes in the judgment and claims line because really a single one can wipe out the whole thing.
Yes.
So we've settled other cases through the year, and in order to be able to settle this one, which the council approved, is just the budget transfer to pay for
Right.
it.
Okay, all right, thank you. Question from the public? I didn't call on you yet. He had his hand up first, but you can come up. He's good. He's a gentleman. Come on up. Am I right?
Just said questions from the public. I'm public now.
That's right, but he raised his hand first.
I didn't know that.
I did.
Listen, Greg, this is one of these things I've been asking for a long time. We don't know, and I'm sure none of you guys up there know, how many cases we have out there. I have to, if I want to look up a case, I have to look it up on, Westlaw or something like that. Can't we get a list of the cases we have out there?
I think we do have a list of the cases we have out there.
I've asked for it for years.
The only...
You have a list, no
I mean,
question about it.
I don't physically have it, but I know that it's there.
Right, but the public, I'm talking about as part of the public right
If
now.
the public is interested, you can go on the court's website, put in Long Beach. and see
Why,
everything that's
why,
about.
if the city is being sued, do we have to do that when you already have the list? Why can't we get the list from you?
I didn't
It's
say
not
you couldn't get the
private.
list from me.
You what?
I didn't say you couldn't get the list from me.
Yeah, you said if the public wants it, they can go on the web, not,
saying it's
not
publicly available
our
information.
website. You said the court website.
If you want my list, I can give you my list. I need to find if there is one in my office. I'm pretty sure we have.
You're pretty sure you have a list of the cases you have?
Correct.
You're not sure you have a list of the
I
cases?
have to see it to be sure, right? I just took this job about 3 weeks ago.
And wouldn't that be the first thing you check, what litigation you're involved in?
I checked what litigation we're involved in, Roy, but I
Okay.
didn't refer to a specific list, all right?
That's a good trick. Okay, yes, if you could get me that list, I would appreciate it.
Okay, please
Thank
submit a
you.
FOIL request.
Oh, I have to submit a FOIL request?
Correct.
You're not going to just disclose the
I
list?
don't want to forget about it. If I have the FOIL request, I'll know to do it.
Okay.
James? I love it. Aren't you glad you came second?
Absolutely. James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street, here in our Coal City. What is this lawsuit referencing? What is it pertaining? It's just lawsuit. We just said lawsuit.
It's a civil rights lawsuit, the Benny matter that was settled, I believe, 2 city council meetings ago.
Oh, okay. So I just wanted to say that, and how much was that for?
It was a total of $1.5 million, the bulk of it to be paid by our insurance carrier and a portion to be paid by us.
Okay, so I just want to say that being a little familiar with that case, these were some young men that was assaulted by police officers. And so when people say that there's no police brutality or no wrongdoing, I think that maybe the city would look to fight this if it was no wrongdoing. But if anyone here was able to look at that case and actually look up those videos, they'll see those children were injured and hurt. And all of them didn't follow suit in suing, but the city is deciding to settle. It's on the family that said, you know what, we had enough and we just want to settle with the city and not continue going through the pain and suffering that we went through already. You don't have to listen to me to think it was wrong. Again, there is right and wrong. I have police officers in my family, and we must speak truth to power and say wrong is wrong when it is wrong. So I'll say to the city, if you can continue doing all the training you can and rid out anyone that will, render injustice to anyone in our city. It is not acceptable, and we must call it out, not just settle taxpayers' money to pay lawsuits and not give everyone what the lawsuit was about. But anyone look up that video, they'll see what happened to those young people that actually called the cops and was actually being assaulted themselves. They called for help, and police officers showed up and did what they did. Whoever this lawsuit is settled on, those officers should have been penalized, and if they weren't, they should have been fired or something should have happened. Again, these were young men from the community that went through this horrific situation, and no one should have to tolerate that. And again, let us rid out anyone in the city, whether it's police or not, when they do something like this, and we have to settle for over $1 million and not be able to talk about the case, and everybody just hear, okay, we're settling. You know, so again, I just wanted to stand up because I'm more familiar with the case and familiar with the young men who actually were getting assaulted and called the police officers. And if anyone look up that videotape, don't listen to James Hodge. Did you have something to say? Oh, okay. All right. So again, I end with there are good and bad. This is something that shouldn't have never happened. And again, I continue to pray for those families as they continue to heal.
Thank you. All right. Yes. Man, I lost my voice today. Gosh.
Eileen Hessian, I think this is the same case that was happened 7 years ago, is that right? And at the last, or one of the last city council meetings, I had asked about the outside counsel, and you said it was all outside counsel that took care of it. And I'm wondering what the 7 years of outside counsel cost us, over and above the $1 million award.
I think the total legal bill over the years was something in the realm of $270,000.
For 7 years?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from the public? Okay, close that one.
Item number 4 is a resolution authorizing transfer of funds for the 2025-2026 fiscal year for payment of the city's LoSAP program.
So Hometown Firefighter Services is the entity that has managed the city's LoSAP program for the past 20 years. LoSAP program is a length of service awards program. For those that don't know, the program is a tax-deferred retirement plan offered to volunteer firefighters as a form of retention and recruitment. The cost to continue and manage the program is just under $160,000 this year, which was an increase above what was budgeted. To cover the additional costs, we are requesting a transfer of $40,000 from the fire protection overtime salaries aligned to the LoSAP line. Commissioner Miller is here if you have any further questions.
Mike?
Commissioner, can you just detail some of the retirement benefits that our volunteers can take advantage of with this program?
The LoSAP program is similar to a retirement program for the volunteers. They do so much time, active time, in the fire department, getting points each year towards that with a 20-year maximum. And after reaching the age of 65, they're able to collect those benefits. It's a small sum, but it's part of the thing that we use for recruitment retention.
Any other questions? Question from the public? All right, thank you. Joe? We'll close that, please.
Item number 5 is a resolution authorizing transfer of funds for the 2025-2026 fiscal year.
It's another budget transfer item. As we discussed earlier, it has been a very busy winter already with respect to storms. As a result, we have all but depleted our salt stockpile, which is down to approximately 100 tons. This is a request to transfer funds to allow the purchase of an additional 200 tons of salt to get us through the remainder of the season. For context, a citywide application of salt utilizes between 70 and 100 tons of salt. We have deployed approximately 800 tons of salt so far this season. If you have any further questions, I do have Ken Arnold here to answer any questions you may have.
Questions?
Ken, it's tough to predict, but we're assuming this is going to get us to the end of the winter? We're all crossing our fingers?
Yeah, that is the goal. We have about 150 tons right now. This should get us through the winter unless we get another couple major events. You never know.
So, Ken, when we stock up for the year, the last few winters have been pretty benign, right? Very, very low snow and ice storms. How would you go about predicting something like this? I know that, they have these La Niñas and El Nino.
They just go based on the last 5 to 10 years, whatever you decide to get done. This year's budget was the same number that's been in the budget the last couple of years.
Right.
And we just left it as is.
Yeah, right. I would have done the same.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, we have a minimum purchase that we have to do with our salt vendor, so it's kind of based on that also.
right.
Ken, question, what's the shelf life on salt?
It could last, our salt is not totally covered all the time, so it does have a shorter shelf life, but if you have a dome, which we have a project to do that, it could last, as long as it stays dry forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the council? We have a question from the public?
Hold up, Dan, I got you.
Not so fast, Mr. Sourcewell.
This is the source. James Hodge. I just want to ask, the municipal buildings in the city of Long Beach, there is a priority to salt them, correct?
Yes.
Why wouldn't we salt them if we don't? You said there's a priority, so if we don't, what would be the reason?
All city-owned buildings should be managed for snow and ice removal after and during an event.
Even if they have contracts that they may remove the snow?
If
Like
they-
if they have leases, because there's a few.
Some facilities are obligated to do it themselves.
Okay, so I just, I'm standing up as a community advocate, Ken, and I say to the city council, I applaud you when you do great, and I want to hold you accountable when I think you can do even better. The Martin Luther King Center has a lot of seniors, it has a lot of youth, and they were, I guess, I don't know, I don't speak for the agency. They were told to do their contract or their lease agreement that you guys, helped them get. But they were basically told not to do it without an attorney. I don't know who was giving them guidance, but it's the first time in my history to know that they signed a lease, and I don't know what's in it, where they're responsible for all of the snow removal and also to do the parking lot. That costs tons of money. If it's a nonprofit that don't have, and we know other nonprofits that's in city buildings, if they were guided to do that, if they didn't know to do that, I'm just saying proper guidance would have said, we're a city, we have trucks, we have salt, we have guys. It's been done for over 40 years. So for me to go and get someone to do it and some of their staff do it that's over 70 years old, I just feel like the city could help out in that effort.
You're not 70.
Say it again? Say it again?
Did you say?
I said one of the staff members that did it is over 70 years old, and to go by and see him out there as over a 70-year-old man, maintenance man, doing it, he's going to do his job. But I'm just asking the city, is it possible that you can look at that building and say, we have seniors, we have youth, can you guys look at that? It's easy to say this is what they signed, but can you guys help that agency out? As a community advocate, I'm asking. Because you guys, again, I applaud you for giving them the lease. But that's one thing on the lease, they still have snow in their parking lot now. Emergency doors should always be done, which they're done. It's still ice around the building. There's seniors, they have a senior program 3 days a week. If nobody else is going to ask for it, I am. I'm an advocate, and I'm going to ask for the soup kitchen and any other. I'm going to ask for the VFW. I'm going to ask for the Historical Society, if you can. The Historical Society, just think about the Historical Society, too. And the VFW, put it that way.
Keep going.
No, but those are three that I look at. They keep our history. The VFW fought for us, and I was happy to go down there, but the MLK is a city-owned building. You were getting ready to say something, President.
Thank you.
Can you look at it? Can you take it into consideration?
We'll look at the lease.
Well, listen, the lease can say I'll be responsible for it, but if possible, I'm asking you as a city to try to help that municipality out. Please.
Thank you. Any other questions? Marcia.
Marsha Gray from
Hi, Marsha.
Long Beach MLK Center. I'm one of the board members. And I want to thank Mr. Hodge for being one of those community people that's concerned community. But as a community, we need to come together. We have to stop saying to the city, why is the community not coming out to help the center? If we can go to the VFW, your house is right next door. Why are we not next door?
That's why
That's what I'm saying. We have to learn to stop bringing everything to the city and come together as a community. The community says, and we can look it up in the dictionary, it says unity. It says hold. We do not bring that. When we come together as a community, things can be done properly. Then we can come to the city and say, can you help us? We must learn to stand on our own and stop running to the city. Yes, we can ask the city to help us, but we need to come together as a community and stand together. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcia. When you ask for help, we'll be there to help you. Any other questions from the public? Okay, thanks. We'll close that.
Item number 6 is a resolution authorizing the city manager to accept a grant from the New York State Archives.
So this item serves to accept a $75,000 grant from the New York State Archives to digitize building department records and to enter into an agreement with NYSID, Series Systems, they're known as, to perform the work. The building department currently has approximately 315,000 business documents and 83,500 large format plans for the 9,666 parcels of land within the city. By digitizing the files, it ensures the preservation of the documents, improves the efficiency of the building department operations, and enhances public access to the records. This will help the department operate more efficiently. And I have Kerry here, and I believe even Scott, to answer any questions about the project or the grant.
Okay. I have a question. Is this a matching grant?
No, this is 100% funded.
100% funded? You probably said that there, right?
Nope, nope.
Oh, it didn't? Okay, good. I don't fail.
How long will the process take, do we think?
So Series System itself projects 2 to 3 months at most. Pursuant to the grant, we have up to a year.
Okay.
Do you have a question? You have the
No,
answer.
he was going to answer if you need to.
If you have a question, I have an answer.
Asked and answered, right? Is that what they say in court, Greg? Anybody, any questions from the?
Well, I would just add to Scott, since you came up. I mean, obviously, this is going to help the building department greatly.
Yes, I mean, it's going to be a start. We don't have enough money to do everything yet. We're going to prioritize, but I mean, I have files and papers and plans going back to before 1920 on different houses.
Huh.
So
My house, I'm sure.
So it will definitely be a big help.
So Scott, this will cover about at what percentage of those files, this particular grant, any idea, ballpark?
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Kerry, we're going to start with our zoning files first, which take up a big chunk of the third floor in my office. So once we're able to get rid of a lot of those files, we're going to keep the paper copies, but they're going to go into storage and
Maple Boulevard?
hopefully.
Yeah.
And then it'll make much more room. And then as we get more grants and more money moving forward, we'll be able to do more of the records.
Thank you.
So when you're looking for information, say you're a resident, you will be going on a computer now, or will you still be getting the folder when you go up to the building department?
Well, like I said, right now, these are going to be the zoning files, so the building folders are going to remain intact like they are now. As we get more funds, we'll get into the building folders themselves, and then we'll be able to then have a computer terminal where you could come in and then go on the computer terminal and look up the records.
Great. Any other questions from the council? Questions from the public? Yeah, yes, I recognize you. This time they didn't.
First of all, I have to applaud this. I've been pushing this for years. 20 years ago, we started scanning in our office. We have over 1 million scans, and it's the best thing we've ever done. So this idea, it's about time, it's wonderful, and the fact that it's grant-funded makes it even better.
Right.
Okay, but I have a couple of questions.
I knew there was a but, Roy. I knew there was a but.
Why would I come up here? It's, at the very end of it, it has the list of what we're paying for and stuff like that. And, you know, and I do notice the business scanning and indexing is almost 19 cents a scan. I know when we scan, you know, we have high-speed scanners, scan 60 pages a minute. It just seems a lot, but like I say, it's grant-funded, so I really don't care. But I do care in the future, because if we're going to have to pay for this, and we're paying 19 cents a page,
Right.
that's a lot of money.
Dan, didn't you go to Kinko's to check this out?
So, but it says here, this grant will be used for the first phase and will cover approximately 74,000 business documents, 6,800 photos, and 17,000 large format plans. Yet, when you look at what they're scanning, it has only 31,000 business documents and 2,600 large format scans. So I'm not sure.
You're looking at the bill?
I'm looking at the document conversion costs at the very end, and I'm looking at the
The
methodology.
partnership request for price concurrence?
Well, it comes out to 73,000, so. Are
you saying the math is wrong?
What?
Are you saying that the math is wrong?
No, I never say that. I just ask why.
I have to check that. I'll check it.
Oh,
I'll confirm.
I mean, we'll have to check the math. I mean, you're saying it's wrong, right?
No, I'm saying that you have a number of 17,000 at one page, and you have a number of 2,600 at the other page. And 2,600, and remember, the large scale are $3.16 a scan. So the difference between 2,600 and 17,000 is huge, especially at $3. And I
Is that
just...
1,700 included in the 31?
17,000. I don't know what it's including. I read this as closely as I could, and I...
So,
I have to
so the
confirm.
difference is, the application is what could be addressed, and that's what we had to give to them. This price concurrence is what Siri is actually able to cover with the grant money.
So
One's an
this,
estimate,
when you
one's a
say
quote.
this grant
Yeah.
will be used for the first phase, that doesn't mean anything. It's not being used for the first phase. It's only being used for a fifth of the
It's
first
not
phase.
covering the entirety of the first
It's
phase
only
at this
covering
time, no.
one-fifth, not even
Correct.
of that, correct. Okay, so what we're talking about basically is maybe $500,000 to do this whole thing?
Well, I mean, the question is, as Scott said, this is a start. I guess once we start the scanning process, we'll be able to figure out not only how much scanning, how long it's going to take.
There's something we've been looking to do for several years now, and thanks to Dave Frazier and now Kerry, we're able to secure the grant, move forward and get the ball rolling. It's not going to happen overnight. Hopefully we can get additional grant funding to continue doing this. And, you know, as we progress, it will make more room in our office and put less things on paper. And it's progress. It's not going to happen overnight.
Our expectation is to keep going for grants and keep continuing the work from when it ends to start up again. And
Your
keep going.
estimate is $500,000 to do this? We're not going to go to you for a...
No, I'm saying that we're paying an awful lot of money. Now, we're not paying it, it's grant funded, but when you're talking almost 20 cents a scan, that's, you know, you feed it into a machine, boom, it's done. Then the other thing that I'm kind of curious about, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I agree with you to what the scan cost. I think that the goal of this exercise, for lack of better words, is we get a free look as to what's going to happen, right? And then see if it's cost efficient or prohibitive to move forward.
maybe we
but
can
20
do-
cents a scan is absurd.
Maybe we can do it ourselves. That's what
Maybe.
I'm saying. Maybe we can set it up so that, you know, when something comes into my office, the first
Scan
thing that
yourself.
happens is it's scanned.
Again, it's a free look into what happened. I had the same concerns as you in the pre-meeting, but it may be more efficient for us to have some administrative person do it with a machine that we buy for a fraction of the price. It's a free look to see.
I like that thinking.
Yeah.
Just remember, these are also old documents. I don't think there's something that you load, you take a pile and just load into a scanner. Some of these are very fragile documents. I don't think it's as easy as what
Well,
you're
we're scanning
implying.
them as they're not fragile. Fragile documents, you need a 400 DPI.
Do you
know,
think
because
a
it's an
document
OCR.
from 1920 is not fragile, Roy? I would
I
beg
have
to
no
differ.
idea, but then they should be scanned at the 400 DPI so that the OCR works on them. It's
I don't
clear.
mean to shortchange this argument here, or discussion, but we're really getting down to how it's going to be done, and we haven't gotten there yet, right? When you open the boxes and start doing this, it may occur to you that we couldn't do it ourselves,
Well, that's what the quote was supposed to look at. I mean, you don't ask people to come in and fix your house and say, oh, well, I never looked at the house. When we get a quote from somebody, they should look at what they're quoting.
That's why the quote is different from the original document that you were showing. One was an estimate of what we needed to have done, and one was a quote. The quote is the one that's the 73,000 and change that shows, what we need for the work.
No, I
That's
understand
based on
that,
what
but
they
this
look.
was the documentation you gave us. Okay, last question. It says everything has to be compared. Every scan has to be visually compared by one of our people. You saw that?
Yes.
How much is that going to cost?
They're already employees.
We're paying for that. Every single scan has to be, they have to have the original, and they have to see what was scanned.
Can I give?
Right. And we want
I'll
to
just
make
give
sure
the
that.
same answer I gave in the pre-meeting, which was the same thing. Free look, and if the system itself works, it's much more cost efficient to have a clerical person, administrative person, and perhaps even buy a very, like as you know from your office, a good enough high-speed scanner machine and have it done itself and have that employee do the dual functions. So
Do the
I
what?
think the dual functions. If we have to compare,
yeah.
If we have to compare each thing, no, I wouldn't use an outside company.
I'm
to do
just
that.
curious, we're scanning 31,000
Yes.
business size, and we're
It would
going
be
to
a
have to
clerical
take
job.
Every one of them has to be
Administrative job.
compared, and that's going to take months.
Right, but that would also, if we had an administrative person doing it, that was their job, doing the clerical work. I mean, it would save us a lot of money in the long run, too, from the paper.
Well, eventually, everything should be scanned. That'll
100%.
save us money, no
Yeah.
question about it.
Yep.
I'm just,
First
it's
of
the
all,
methodology.
I've quite a bit of confidence in Scott that it's going to be done right. It's not going to be done shoddy work, and certainly he's not looking to cost the city money.
No, I know, but personally, I think the company, that's the responsibility of the company.
Well, I mean, we're the end product, right? We're the people that we have to check to see.
I know, but when you hire someone, to do certain things, you shouldn't have to follow them around to make sure it's done. All right, thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. And like I
Thank
said,
you,
it's a
yep.
great idea.
Yeah, good. Okay. Is that for the great idea? Oh, no, okay.
I think, Mr. Fiamora, that was a good idea. Because you don't really know the real cost of what this is going to, I looked at the documents too, and I didn't look at the other costs connected to it, which might be very big. So I would have asked you to table this until you know the real cost. I know you're not going to do that. So can we possibly get a date when you will look at this, like a year from now or 6 months from now or something, where we can tell what it's really going to cost us? And if we have a person internally, they also get benefits. It's not like they're, how that works. So
If I can answer it, I mean, there's a cost to everything, right? If we were going to use an outside company at 20 cents per scan, I would say that's cost prohibitive. If we're getting a grant and that's the company in place that gives us the free look and the path to do it, great. Other people's money, I love it. Let's do that, and then we can give a hard cost. What's an administrative person cost? What's the benefits behind it? Whether it's $45,000 or $60,000, it's going to be somewhere within that range, and our entire city documents would then be electronic for the rest of the future.
right, every week or every meeting we spend a lot of money, and I think we forget about it. Next week we'll be talking about another pile of money. So I would like to
Always.
know that we're going to come back to this exact thing and look at it and find out how much it really costs.
Yeah, I think it's just going to come down to an administrative person that does the job, and there may be somebody in place already who gets that task and gets the workload. Maybe the workload's spread out among
So we
3
will look at
employees
it
already.
again. We will look at it out loud.
Of course, I think everybody.
Are you
else feels
volunteering
cost-
to
I
come
think
up and
Eileen
help
is-
scan?
is
I might do that,
volunteering,
yes. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Chris. Any other questions from the public for Chris?
Thank you.
I mean, they're good questions.
You're right. They're good questions.
And
And they're
the
obvious.
answer is coming.
Yeah, they're obvious concerns.
Right.
Valid concerns.
All right, thanks. We'll close it.
Item number 7 is a resolution authorizing city manager to enter into a consulting agreement with the lowest responsible proposer.
So as most people are aware, once the sewer consolidation and North Shore critical infrastructure projects are completed, we're going to have an incredible opportunity to reimagine a large portion of the bayfront. We really want to make sure that the city is doing it right. Approval of this item would allow the city to enter into an agreement with Nelson, Pope, and Voorhees, NPV, to craft a redevelopment plan for this area. The city secured a $170,000 grant from the state to support this work, and the city will be contributing $30,000, which is 15% of the project. NPV was the highest rated of the 5 firms that bid on this work, and their proposal came in within budget. Approval is recommended. I do have Patty Bourne, John McNally, and Ken here if you have any further questions.
Questions from the council?
No questions. I'm just glad, I've been hearing about this for a long time, so I'm glad that this is finally getting off the ground. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I said I'm just excited. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I'm just excited this is actually getting off the ground. I mean, this has been a great thing for the city, and it's been talked about for a long time. So excited to be on the council as we get this ball rolling. So that's all.
To echo that, I'm excited for what could be, and I'm excited for, sometimes we talk in this room about inclusion and everybody having a voice and everybody having their opinion. And I think this allows everybody in the city to give their opinion and give their vision and have a voice. So I'm excited for it.
Any other questions?
I also like that somebody else is paying for most of it.
That's what I was going to say. I completely agree with that.
A question from the public.
Hello. Hi. I've been looking at bids for a long time. You know that. I compare the bids. And I've always wondered, I look at a bid and I say, wow, this guy bid $200,000, this guy bid $79,000. That's quite a difference. People understand, well, they have different methodology. I can understand a 100% difference, a 50% difference, even a 10% difference in bids. These 5 bids are within 1/100% of each other. I have never, ever seen bids like this. It doesn't sound right to me.
I'm glad that you came up and asked this question, because I think it's not about the bids, but the process, right? This isn't so much about the bids. It's about the process by which the person was selected.
So this is...
They were pretty close.
So I will say, this is a professional service, so it's not based on cost, it's based on qualifications, so...
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the bids, the fact that these bids were within 100% of each other, I have never, ever seen anything like that. And it just doesn't smell right to me. Now, if you look at the different categories of what they bid on, you take the first bid, and this is under the GEIS. They bid $47,688. And the last one bid $5,280. I'm used to seeing those kind of differences in bids. I understand that. But somehow, magically, they all came within 100% of each other.
So do you think the 5 firms are colluding with each other? Why?
I'm not going to say that, but that hasn't crossed your mind?
Let's
Five firms? No. They're in competition with each other? No.
Have you ever, let me just ask a question, Dan. Have you ever seen 5 bids coming in this close? Tell me once. I've been looking at bids for years here. Once when the city has 5 bids coming in this close.
We got a grant from the state for this we applied for $200,000. We got $170,000 with the $30,000 match. It was public knowledge what the budget was for this project. I guarantee you, with a project this important and with as robust of a public input process as Long Beach engages on, they're going to earn every penny, or they're going to work it for every penny of it.
Why was that disclosed, though?
We accepted a grant from the state.
We accepted the grant.
I know, but was that part of the bid? Was that?
Well, that's what's going to pay for the work.
I understand that, but
the city had a
sometimes if you tell people, if I go into a store and I'm going to buy a car, and I say, I have $50,000 in my pocket, you know how much that car is going to be?
I don't think we had a choice.
Right, but Roy, it was public information that we got this, that we won this award.
In the bid, though?
No, it's not in the bid, but you think these engineering companies don't watch a lot of these meetings?
I don't know. I don't know. But have you
Patty?
ever seen this? That's my question. Have you ever seen bids this close?
When people know what the budget is, yes.
I'd like to see it once in the city of Long Beach. I've looked at a lot of bids, ever in the city of Long Beach.
We'll look back at records. Ken, do you want to touch on it too?
Under New York State law, especially for the Department of State where the funding is coming from, they take the requirement, the state requirement that 30% of the project goes to minority and women-owned businesses. Therefore, we have to state in the RFP the percentage, and anyone can figure out from that, and therefore we stated in the proposal that we had the 200,000, and the X amount had to be shown that they were using a minority and/or woman-owned firm.
How many of these were minority or women-owned?
The 5 proposals that we got,
Yeah.
each had sub-consultants that met that requirement.
So they were all...
They were all, none of them were minority women-owned firms, but they provided satisfactory sub-consultants who fit those conditions and were certified by New York State.
Okay, you're happy with it? All right.
And also, Safe Streets for All had the same setup, and we also received bids that were almost identical by all the firms.
Did what?
Safe Streets for All, that grant, and we proposed on that project at the end of last year, we saw the same type of results because of the same requirements.
I can understand, except one of them...
You were on the council then?
Yes.
Right.
One of them is bidding $47,000, and the other one is bidding $5,000, and yet magically it comes out to the same amount. Even Nelson Pope, when theirs didn't add up, they put in miscellaneous expenses to make sure that it added up.
Well, you asked for one example, and Ken gave you the one from when you were on the council.
It wasn't this close.
It was 100%. We can go back and show you.
Okay.
Any other questions from the public? Come on up. You were first, James, but you're being a gentleman, so all right, like that.
Hi, Pam Payton.
Hi.
I'd like to know if the planning board has anything to do with these consultants that are coming on.
You just got to bring the mic down a little bit. There you go.
Planning board is one of the stakeholders that the consultants are going to speak with. There's going to be many, many stakeholders, many members of the community, a lot of community meetings and so on and so forth. So everyone's going to be consulted in due time.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. James?
I just want to start off that you're going to be looking for a consultant to work on the Bayfront project. Just want to thank Crystal Lake and so many others that have done a diligent job to push the city, myself and others that have pushed the city to actually put money into the Bayfront. For many years, it was only rip-rab, and nobody ever really cared about the Bay. And so it's good that all of these millions have been put into it. As I always say, that the planning board that you have, it should reflect the whole city of Long Beach. It has no African American on it. This is the largest parcel of land that will be developed, and it could adversely hurt the community in a major way. Sometimes, maybe not by purpose or on purpose, when people are not at the table, I look at them as being, sometimes what I've seen is that they're on the menu. And I'm tired of my community being on the menu and being planned out instead of being planned in with our ideas and our decisions when it comes to planning. Also, I will say that there was someone that stood up and said something about me living right next door. Yeah, the center was built in my yard, and
We're just talking about this.
I know, so it's part of the plan.
This agenda item. That's
Okay, so then with the agenda item, I will say, they talked about me. That's been built on my yard, and I've been volunteering, and I paid to help get snow removal. And again, no one can try to.
No, we're talking about this agenda.
I hear what you're saying, But so
Stick to the agenda.
Okay, so I'll stick to the agenda. So as I was saying, no one can mentor me about trying to be engaged in the community as they just started coming to city council meetings. I've been coming here since the 80s, every single council meeting. And so, may have missed a few. So again, I don't personally attack nobody, but don't talk to me about calling the community together when you have the right to call a community meeting. Maybe we need to do that real soon. And so again, I say with this, when whoever you get, make sure that, again, I ask that, again, and with my tax dollars, I pay taxes here. So I get a chance to demand and make requests like everybody else in this city. And everybody want to clap when they say community. That community is a part of every community. So when we say the community need to stand up and come together, we've been coming together. During Sandy, we fed thousands of people. During the pandemic, we fed hundreds of people and thousands of people. So people can clap when we say that community needs to come together. We all one community. And I'll never let someone sit up here and degrade and talk about a community that I know have stood up time and time again. Maybe you have not been a part of it. And so you don't know. And so you'll come up and degrade your own part of the community. We've stepped up, and we continue to step up. And again, I request that that is a municipality, part of this municipality, in the municipal building. I've asked for and request or demand my tax dollars go to saying, help the seniors and the children and clear the snow from there. So let this, whoever this planning person is, let them come into community and plan whatever's going to be on the Bayfront with the community. And I still ask for African American to be sat on that board.
Thank you. So, on the planning board, we made sure that we had someone from each neighborhood. And we have someone from the North Park neighborhood.
A black person representing black ideals, just like you have everyone else. We're all entitled.
Sit down, please. Thank you. Okay. Okay, good. Any other questions from the public? Okay, thanks. We'll close that.
All right, on to the voting.
Yes.
Is that a motion to introduce and?
Second.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
Vice President Fiumara? Yes. President Finn?
Yes.
Item number 1 is a resolution authorizing publication for hearing of an ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances of the City of Long Beach, Rebuilding Code, Housing and Property Rehabilitation and Conservation Code, and Appendix A of the Zoning Code. Who will introduce and move the adoption of this item?
I will.
Second?
I second.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
Vice President Fiumara? Yes. President Finn?
Yes.
The city manager's personnel report has been filed by the city clerk, who will make a motion to close the meeting.
I will.
Second?
Second.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Ennis?
Yes.
Councilmember Reinhardt?
Yes.
Vice President Fiumara? Yes. President Finn?
Yes. Thank you. Ron Paganini.
Good evening, everybody.
How are you?
So, 2 weeks ago, I mentioned the water, the Lloyd Aquifer.
Yes.
And it's been pending for eternity. Listen, you inherited a lot of stuff. A lot of good stuff a lot of bad stuff. This is bad stuff. So I did an investigation, I did some study work, and I found the latest report on the aquifers that came out February 12th, 2025. And there's a new one coming April 29th, in 26. And this is out in Garden City. So it was online, this thing on YouTube. And let me tell you something. You talk about a report, you talk about science. It's incredible what they did in 5 years. They could actually see the salt water 1,400 feet down, trying to intrude. I made copies of this. I want everybody to have one. City manager and everybody to have one. And you'll see on it, there's a woman there, Sarah Mayland. She's a scientist. She's a geologist. She is the top person, expert on Long Island water, the aquifers. Top. Okay. So if you look down, I'll say, there's a website where every one of you can go on and listen to this meeting. It's about an hour. Okay? If you look down, you'll see February 12th to 25. And there's, they got the YouTube and the website to actually sit down and listen to this woman. You'll be blown away. Okay? I never heard half of this stuff. The engineering the last 6 years is off the wall of what they can see. So, you have the thing, you'll check it out. You can see, you can actually Google it too. Sarah Mayland, Waterfall, Long Island, New York, and you'll see it. And you'll see the thing February 12th over there, and you have to listen to it. So I was always worried about this stuff. And I was always trying to figure out how can we fix it. They want you to, monitor the water, in the summer months, okay? Because the water quadruples our water source, for the summer. In the winter, it slows down, and actually the aquifer replenishes during the winter months between September and May with the rains and everything. It actually sinks down into these aquifers. There's many aquifers. So what I figured out, either we're going to have to monitor the water, or I came up with an idea, since we have water in Atlantic Beach, it's Liberty water that comes from New York City. It's great water. And we have a spigot, we have a valve that sends it right to our plant. This is the idea. This is the Paganini theory here. Now, listen to this.
Not the Pythagorean.
No, not that.
Paganini, right.
So if we use 1 billion gallons of water in 1 year, right? And the expert says, well, you know what? If you didn't take out 1 billion gallons and you only took out 800 million gallons, okay? The reservoir, the aquifer would replenish. We wouldn't have a problem. So but what I'm saying is, contact Liberty Water. We have an engineer here. See if that could be done. If that could be done, we're good. They'll pump the water off season.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we slowed down a little. This is our only way out. And at the end of the meeting, when you read this, when you Google this YouTube, this woman, somebody asked, what about the Lloyd Aquifer? How's it doing? She says, this is we're on the tipping point. That means any day, any month. Maybe maybe you can contact, get the people involved.
Right.
I mean, what do you think, Brendan?
So, I spoke with you earlier about
Yes,
it today, and
yes.
we had a longer conversation. I personally think that Long Beach should know about this. Probably some people do, most people don't. Understand about the aquifer and the salt intrusion. We need to have something like this in the library where she comes and speaks.
Yeah.
Or someone speaks about it, because the city needs to know about it. So
Right.
thank you.
And once they know about it, you know, the bottom line is we got to make a move.
Right.
I don't want this on your watch, if you can prevent it.
hope
We
it's
can't wait a year.
Yeah, go ahead.
If I could just add, if I could just add one thing, Ron,
Yeah.
just because I want to make sure that people don't, like, we're not, like you said, days, weeks, or months away from this. We're many years away from this by
Oh.
every account.
Well, how do you know that?
However,
How do you know
because
that?
I've went through all the studies with them when they came in, with both them.
With this woman?
What?
With this Sarah Mayland?
No, with the national. What's the Sarah was part of a. What was Right. Right, and yeah, and it's
And Sarah's
years-
running this.
years away, even by her standard. But there's also the government's been involved as well, and even they're saying all the models are kind of correlating. None of them saying days, weeks, months away.
Oh, well.
So I just want to make sure. Because that's important to note. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a critical issue, and this is something that has to be addressed, and we are looking at it. And we're looking at different solutions, but we're not.
Well,
I don't want the alarm bells going off.
All
every day.
right, but anyway,
Yeah.
maybe we get somebody to the library and everybody would listen. But the bottom line is it can't happen. If it does happen, we'll be drinking salt water.
Okay. I agree. Thank you,
So
Ron.
anyway, I'll be checking in on you or whatever and see what happens.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Ron. Pete Myers.
Pete Myers, 716 West Olive Street. I'm one of the co-founders of the Long Beach Polar Bears. Thanks. Want to welcome Tracy and George.
Thank you, Pete.
I really came to thank Dan. We met on New York Avenue the other day. It was about 20 degrees, and we came up with a plan to have the dip on Super Bowl Sunday. And just wanted to make it clear that it was the polar bears that are not as tough as Mindy, who goes in every single day. So like some of us old timers that were the co-founders, we really decided that it's too cold, and just wanted to make it clear that there was no one from the city that pressured us to change the date. We just got a little nervous. The volunteers are out there 6-7 hours in the cold, and then halfway through volunteering, they go in the water, then come back and volunteer for another couple of hours. But I just want to thank you, Dan, for agreeing with the change right away, and also agreeing to have it. But there was one stipulation that Dan came up with, and it was when we decided to have it in March, the day that it was, that's right around St. Patrick's Day, and Dan said that Brendan had to wear a green Speedo, and that was it.
Well, it's
And
my
we're
wife's
gone.
birthday. It's Patty's birthday, so she's going to have to jump in the water, too.
Oh, that's right. That was part of it, too. We're going to have a big party for Patty on that day. But thanks again, Dan, and thanks for everything you all do.
Thank you for
Tracy.
what you do, Pete. Thank you very much for the Polar Bears, you and Kevin and the whole group. It's a great Long Beach day. It's in the top 3 Long Beach days, I believe. And, the city, it's a priority for us.
All right, thank you.
If I could just add one thing too, just as you know, I jump in. I've never missed a year. You know that. I'm kind of glad I'm missing this year because I was looking forward to it. But
not over
also,
yet.
this is one of the great charity organizations of Long Beach, and clearly having it in warmer temperature with a little more. Many more people are going to show up, and it's going to raise a lot more money for the Polar Bears, which is a great organization. So that's another big part of it, I'm sure, Pete. So thanks again for everything.
All right, well, thank you all. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Pete. Thomas Madonna.
A little shorter than him. All right, good evening. I'm not trying to solve world famine or keep Long Beach hydrated, but I am trying to save lives, okay? So my name's Tommy Madonna. I'm a Long Beach resident and an FDNY battalion chief. Last month I spoke about the city's current fire and EMS response policy. After further reviewing the policy and researching its operational impact, I'm even more concerned. I also emailed the city council on this also, just to follow up from my talk last month. In my professional opinion, this system is a tragedy waiting to happen. At any given time, the city is moving manpower between units and placing the paid ambulance or paid engine out of service depending on call type. Engines may appear to be in service, but they are staffed with only 1 or 2 firefighters, not enough to operate safely or efficiently, or effectively. In some cases, the ambulances are reassigned to function as fire suppression units, removing EMS coverage from the community. This practice compromises both firefighter safety and public safety. Long Beach presents unique challenges. 75 high-rise buildings, the most in Long Island, one of the most densely populated cities in the country, a barrier island with only 3 drawbridges for access, delayed mutual aid due to geography. Because of this, we cannot rely on outside help arriving quickly. We must be self-sufficient. When ambulances transport patients off the island, crews may be tied up at the hospital for extended periods of time. If the engine company is also understaffed, there may be little or no effective fire response left in the city. Additionally, parts of the current staffing model appear inconsistent with OSHA's 2-in, 2-out rule. That creates not only safety risks, but potential legal liability for the city in the event of an injury or a death. Recently, during a fire in the canals, only 2 firefighters were on the paid engine, the man driving and the officer. They were left to stretch a hose line by themselves. The homeowner, a barefoot off-duty New York City firefighter, helped stretch the hose line. This should never happen. We were fortunate the outcome wasn't worse. And this was during a snowstorm when the manpower should be at its highest level and proper precautions should have been made.
The fire in the canals was during the snowstorm?
Yeah, not this snowstorm, the snowstorm prior. Back, I think it was around Christmas time. I don't have the exact date.
Okay.
Okay. If departments across New York State are requesting funding for paid staffing because volunteer numbers are at a 40-year low, how can we justify reducing paid staffing here in the most operationally challenging community on Long Island? Volunteer decline is structural, not temporary, across New York State and Long Island. Longer commutes, 2-income households, less availability for daytime response. Training time demands higher than ever. Younger generations less able to commit. Those aren't trends that suddenly reverse. So betting policy on volunteers will fill the gap isn't realistic anymore. It becomes very hard for a municipality to argue they exercise reasonable care if something catastrophic happens. Courts look at foreseeability, and right now a tragedy is completely foreseeable. To be clear, this is not a criticism on the volunteers. Volunteers are essential and valued. But given our geography and density, we must maintain a properly staffed paid engine and ambulances at all times. I respectfully recommend the City Council establishes an independent board of experienced professional firefighters and EMS professionals with no political ties to evaluate the staffing and response policies. Decisions should be based solely on safety and operational readiness, not budget pressures, which could be looked at after we figure out what we should be doing. I urge the City Council and the City Manager to take a hard look at this policy before reallocating any funds, which I'm probably a little late for that, but politics aside, and prioritize the safety of our firefighters and our community. I thank you for your time, guys. If I can help in any way, I'm more than available for no charge at all. I'm more than happy to answer questions, and I look forward to maybe you guys at some point, I know I don't want to put you on the spot, just your opinions on this.
You did. It's okay.
All right, I'm sorry.
That's what you're supposed to do.
You know, I don't want,
It's okay.
you know, but maybe.
Thank you.
Your opinions on this protocol at some point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, one thing is that this council and the previous council increased manpower, and we hired more firefighters. So that's one thing we're proud of. We hired additional firefighters / EMS medics. Number 2, our volunteer force does a great job. They show up at the fires. They get there at the same time sometimes before, sometimes right after the paid guys. The volunteers do a great job. We could use more volunteers, especially NYFD firefighters. It would be great to have some NYFD paid guys. Why not? They can volunteer in other places. Right, well, you could volunteer here if the union here would allow them. Okay, thank you. The third thing is this. This isn't a place to litigate a contract, right? This isn't a place to negotiate contracts. This is the place, I appreciate what you had to say. I don't want the public to think that they have something to be afraid of. Just like Dan said about the water, about the fires. We have a great volunteer staff. We have a great paid staff. They usually work together and they get there. I'd like to invite the commissioner to come up and speak about it, if you don't mind. Because my voice is gone.
The Long Beach Fire Department is a combination department where we have both paid and volunteer resources. While 9 out of the 5,200 calls from last year, 78% were EMS alarms. We allocate our personnel, both paid and volunteer, to handle the calls as they've been coming in. So if we have an EMS call, someone's having a heart attack, we're going to send an ambulance. It's pointless to send an engine that can't do a transport. So we've been meeting the needs of the community. It's been nothing but a success since we've done that. When we talk about 2 in, 2 out, usually that argument is made, not including volunteers responding.
Excuse me.
I appreciate your comment, Mr.
Yeah,
Madonna.
we can't make comments. You had your chance.
You know, someone from New York City doesn't deal with the same things that we do here in Long Beach. You know, where something might work there, where they have hundreds or thousands of people, we don't have that here. Over the last 4 years, we have hired 17 career firefighters, EMS. They are cross-trained to do both fire and EMS. Primarily, our mission is EMS right now, which is most departments throughout the country, throughout the state, throughout the county. Our members are trained. They'll handle the calls as they come in. And yes, there are times where the volunteers are beating out the paid guys to alarms. But our paid guys are there 24/7. They're there to assist in any way possible. But they do a great job.
Okay, thank you. Marsha Gray. Thanks.
Marsha Gray, Board of Directors from MLK Center.
Welcome back.
You could breathe. Look at your faces, you could breathe.
My
I'm not
voice
gonna
was
go
good
through
until I
the
got
typical.
here.
So I'm here to say, save the date. The MLK Center will be celebrating Black History Month on February 28th. We will be highlighting the centennial anniversary of Black history. We will do the commencements. We are asking all is invited. We are letting you know all is invited. Come one, come all, come out to help celebrate. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you, Marsha. Dale Greenstein.
Dale Greenstein, 522 West Olive Street.
You said you would take it easy on me today.
Yeah, but I got more ever since I've been sitting here.
Kidding.
The first thing that I'd like to talk about is the Lloyd's Aquifer, after it was brought up.
Good.
About 15 years ago, we did testing here on Laurelton Boulevard and the beach regarding the Lloyd's Aquifer. It gave a lot of people pause to question what the heck was going on. and the Herald talked about it. The Lloyd's Aquifer has been on my tongue for 35 years. The reason being that I taught social studies and history, and I talked about Long Beach at that time too. And every kid that walked by my room knew about the Lloyd's Aquifer because it's important. This is where they live. Finished with that. And maybe it would be a good idea to have somebody come back and do some more testing on the Lloyd's Aquifer. It has been quite a while. And I believe there's a woman sitting here that could probably help you out finding how that can be tested.
Okay.
Next, snow. Many, many years ago, when the sanitation workers were, I'm not going to say shoveling, but using their plows to get rid of the snow on the streets, they did something brilliant. They went down your street one way, and then they went down your street the other way. Guess what happened? Nobody's car got buried in. I am so tired of having my car buried in when the people that are on the odd side of the street, their cars aren't buried in the same way on the even side of the street. It really makes a difference. Next, snow. We now have a mountain in Long Beach. The mountain is on Park Avenue between Laurelton and Lafayette Boulevard. There was no reason for that mountain of snow to be created. No reason at all. It could have been placed differently. And now, if you're coming down the street, heading east, there is a cave underneath that mountain. You guys have kids, at least some of you do. What a place to hide out if you're a kid. How dangerous. We don't know how snow melts, whether it's going to melt this way or this way. Makes me very nervous. And I would like for a plan to happen when snow is removed to not create mountains like that. And when I'm saying a mountain, I'm talking about it was over 20 feet high. And I think we can do a better job than that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Roy Lester.
Dale, I hate to say it, I used to be the kid that would dig into the mounds because I loved the little forts, but they were never 20 feet high at that time. But they were so cool. Okay. First thing, when are we getting a lock for the men's bathroom up here? It's been weeks. How about what? Yeah. I mean, if you need us to, we can do it. Citizens can do it, I'm sure. I'll take it.
How far the mighty have fallen?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I mean, it's just a lock. It's a little lock. We put it in. The space is there ready.
Okay.
All we have to do is put something in, and it's been weeks. And there's a sign, knock first. Come on. Come on. We spent so much to make that bathroom, and we can't get a lock? Okay, that's one thing. The other thing, I asked some questions 2 weeks ago. I was told I would get answers. I never got any answers. The warranty on the payloader. Pause me. Did you pause me? I'm waiting for an answer. No, come on.
Yeah, this isn't a question and answer session, Roy, but keep going. But I think it was, I believe it was 5 years. I have to double check, but I believe it was 5 years.
But
We did check it
It
right
said
afterwards.
2,000 hours or 60 months or something like that. There was a
I think it was 5 years, or however many hours. I don't remember how many. I don't have the answer with me
5
right
and
now,
60.
Roy. But no, I'm not going to say that. This isn't the time
Will
for
you get
question
it
and
to me?
answers. Yeah.
Get me the answer, that's all. And the other thing was, and Joe, you had said something about whether Nassau County had, you didn't know whether they had a policy or not. Were you able to find out the fire department policy? Yes or no? Policy for what? But the same thing, you put out a policy. Remember we were talking about the 30 policy manuals that put out that nobody really understood why it was 30. But, and I asked about Nassau County.
Well, you were referring to Lexipol and the number 30 about that. That 30 is the internal thing for Lexipol. It was a internal thing for Lexipol showing how many people would be involved or need to have access to the system.
So Lexipol, it had nothing to do with us.
Right.
Oh, okay. But you also said you were going to check on a manual if Nassau County had a manual, because they have their fire academy, but.
They'll have a training manual
Yeah.
for the fire academy. We have a manual for the Long Beach Fire Department. Each department will have their own thing. It's different departments will have their own procedures set in place. There is no department-wide manual.
There's no best practice?
The state comes out with stuff for the departments, with training and things like that, but the county does not have that.
Okay. And Rick, you said you were going to find out what the police department paid for that? If you don't know now, if you can just.
I have the number, I'll get it to you.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Eileen Hessian.
Sorry, real quick. Roy, on the warranty, it was 5 years or 2,000 hours.
Eileen Hessian.
Thank you, John. I was trying to find it in my text as well.
I just want to reiterate what Marcia said, that it is Black History Month, and aside from Martin Luther King having a major celebration, because this is centennial year, very important, the library will also be having some activities for Black History Month, and I would assume that the city will be doing something for Black History Month as well. So I hope the city will be invited to attend those activities and celebrations. Thank you.
Thank you. James Hodge.
James Hodge, 95 East Fulton Street. In this Black History Month, I didn't hear the city's Black History date, but I stand and give a moment of silence for Heidi, someone who was an activist, someone who was a Holocaust survivor, a business owner, a painter, and the last protest I was at, I do this in honor of her. She protested.
I have to tell you right now, that should not be done in this place.
Listen,
that should not be done in this place.
Listen,
no, you listen to me. That should not be done in this place.
You can't listen.
No, you don't cause alarm. You don't cause alarm in this place.
What is causing alarm?
Don't do it again.
You can let me finish, and I hope
Do
you
not
stop
do
my
it again.
time. You don't dictate to me what to
I
do.
do.
This is my time.
Yes, I do.
This is my time. You causing alarm by yelling. You're louder than the whistle.
You don't cause alarm.
Okay, so as I said, I do that in honor of Heidi, who was an activist, who was someone who protested against ICE and their horrific actions. There's some that decide to be inhumane. There's some that decide to kill and be murderers. And that's why we have a right to protest. That's why we have a right to freedom of speech. You know that, right? That's why we have a right to freedom of press. You know that, right? And so I will not allow you to dictate and quiet my protest, my First Amendment right, and as a taxpayer, you are there to listen or respond. And so I'm up here for that, but also I am up here as Martin Luther King fought for the sanitation workers. We talk about how great they are, and they are. Know the CSEA is doing what they can. But yet our sanitation workers make less than minimum wage. They make about $14 an hour, $15 an hour. Yet we know that the state minimum wage is $17 an hour. Somebody had an answer? Oh, you had an answer? Okay, I don't want you to take my time looking at me. So they make, some of them make $14 an hour. Some of them make $15 an hour. But yet the state minimum wage is $17. I know the city have this loophole where it's New York State Law 1615 where they can go beyond the minimum wage. But is it right? Is it right to do that to our workers for the city? As a 20-some-odd year CSEA member, and also I was on the executive committee, I will always stand up and continue to fight. I started off. Martin Luther King died fighting for sanitation workers. His last speech was on April 3rd, 1968, and died 4468. I will continue standing up. They're in the cold, rain, sleet, or snow, making that less amount of money. They don't get uniforms, the hourlies, but yet they do 30-some-odd hours, sometimes some of them a week, or whatever they do. So again, I ask the city to look into your finances and see if you can give them more money. You had something to say? Okay, so anyway, again, I'll finish off by saying, please make sure you take care of the sanitation. And if you don't want me to blow the whistle now, if you really want me to put a protest together outside, I'll blow 1,000 whistles. You let me know what you want to do, because you can't stop me if I want to do a protest like you did a protest for Trump. Remember the car rally you did? And also, yeah, it's all right. We have a right. I thank you, President. We have a right. And also, I'll say this, that you have decided, somebody that knows you, they came in, I won't go give the name, but they make $18 an hour, and they just started. And these guys are out here breaking their neck on the street. I can give the name if you want, but I don't want to do that. But they make $18 an hour. And they're good friends of you. They just started not too long ago. So please look at the sanitation workers and all of the other workers that's making $15 and less than state minimum wage.
Thank you. Mindy.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mindy.
All right, let me get this. So last meeting, I misspoke about the snow and the handicap parking spots, and I really want to make a clarification, because I had asked for you guys to shovel the handicap spots, not realizing what I had meant was not dumping the mounds of snow in the handicap parking spots, which I'm sorry to say previous administrations have done, and not the last couple. It was like years ago. And when you are in need, when the snow is finally going to melt, at least those spots don't have those mounds of snow. So thank you. The other thing I wanted to say is bravo to canceling the Long Beach Polar Bear Splash. I know Pete just spoke and said that he spoke with you, Dan, and as someone that goes into the water, it is freezing cold, and I know that mixing alcohol and walking into that water would have been...
If you say it's freezing cold, I'll take your word for it.
It is really cold. I mean, -5 degrees wind chill is really cold, and it was the right decision to do it, and I just wanted to say thank you. All right,
thanks.
And I just wanted to ask the police commissioner, so we know that we know it's canceled, but there's definitely rumors on social media that people are still going to be going. And I'm just curious, is there anything...
Yeah, we're going to have officers and special officers in the area telling people that it's closed as they show up. We're also going to close the exits off the boardwalk onto the beach.
Okay.
DPW is going to help us out with that.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mindy. And we're all out of contestants. So before we end the meeting, I just want to say thank you again to the city workers who worked really hard during the blizzard and in the aftermath. They did the best job they could. It was historical, and I appreciate what they did. Please, everybody, arrive home safely. We'll see you again for our second meeting, February 20th, right? 17th.